ActiveCampaign Multiform Signup. So for a multiform signup, we're going to have multiple forms. We're going to use custom fields. And because this will be on WordPress, we're going to use the URL Params WordPress plugin, and we're going to pass information from one form to the next. So let's dive right in. So this is what the first form is going to look like. It's simply going to capture email address. Second one is going to ask some information and ask for a little more details like first, last name, and we want to pass along the original email address to this field so they don't have to type it again. And then in the final one, it's simply a little more information about their children. And again, we're going to pass the email address from the previous form to this one. So to get started, we need to create some custom fields in ActiveCampaign. And these are the fields we want to collect. One's going to be a reason, drop down. This is a drop down, text, and some date fields. So I'm going to go ahead inside ActiveCampaign. And we are going to go ahead and create those custom fields. Okay. So we've created a number of custom fields starting from reason and going down. And then the next step we're going to do is create the forms. And I'd recommend starting with the last one. And the reason being is that you want to use that page as your thank you page for the previous form. So we're going to create this form right here first, which is the last page. So going into ActiveCampaign, we're going to go to Forms. And I'm going to call it Step 2. And we'll put them on a list. So let's put in the custom fields we have. And the first one is going to be first child's name. So let's do that. Let's put that right here. Anyway, so moving along, I'm going to go ahead and integrate. So next thing is, I'm not going to worry about embedding this in WordPress or I am going to use the raw embed code, not the simple script that won't work with it. So I'm going to have to use this in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and save and exit. And then I'm going to create the step 1 form. Now, I'm going to create the first form, which is simply sign up. And the only thing I want to do is collect email. Okay, so I've got all 3 sign up forms created in ActiveCampaign. I did not need to save the form page because we're not actually going to use those. We're going to use the raw HTML, embed that on WordPress. So let's go into WordPress and create 3 pages. And I'm going to create add new. The first one's going to be called sign up. And I want to go back to here and let's get the raw HTML code for this. So I'm going to copy that, put it in there. I'm going to go ahead and publish that. Now I'm going to create another one called, guess what? Step 2. We are going to need these URLs. So I'm going to go ahead and publish that. So I'm going to save that because that's going to be the thank you page for step 1. Now, let's go back to ActiveCampaign. And I want to set the thank you page for sign up 1 to be where step 1 form is located. So I'm going to go ahead and edit. I'm going to go to options. I'm going to change this to open URL. I'm going to put that URL in there, and then I'm going to put question mark email equals % capital email %. I'm also going to turn off opting on confirmation, which I don't think I really need to do, but I just want to be sure. So now I'm going to go ahead and integrate that, save and exit. And now I got to go to step 1, edit that. And then the next step here is to go to options, change the thank you to an open URL, paste that step 2, question mark email equals % email. We could keep adding more information separated by ampersand to add more information to this next page, but we didn't collect much really. So I'm going to go ahead and integrate that, save and exit. Now I've got this set up. The next step is inside WordPress. I'm going to go ahead and have to add a plugin, and we're going to search for URL Params. And that's it. There's nothing else to do with that. However, we need to go back to our pages, and we're going to have to make some modifications to the step 1 and step 2 and pass in the email information. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this. Now, got to go search for email. And what I am looking for is this field called email. And I need to add something in there. And what it is this. So I'm going to go ahead just prior to the word placeholder. I'm going to paste that in there and save that. Then I'm going to go to step 2 and do basically the same thing. Now the great thing is we can test. So I'm going to open this page right here, open new tab, and notice first name, last name, first name, birth date, equipment, second child, email is empty. Now watch what happens when I put question mark email equals dave@email.com. So scroll down, and there it is in there. So let's go ahead and test this out. Now, when I submit this, it should go to the step 1, and it does. And there it's got my name embedded there. I'm going to click on something like this. Parent's first name is Dave. Oops, last name is Wooding. Submit that. I'm going to click on submit. Takes me to page 2. I'm going to and then submit there. So now that I'm signed up, I can go check to see that all those custom fields are filled out. So there's all the information that's been collected from that form. So that's how you use ActiveCampaign Multiform Signup to pass along information from one form to the next.